Good afternoon. Our paper is entitled Opportunities for Dignified Labor, What Less Fortunate Women Really Need. The human person, endowed with a spiritual and immortal soul, possesses an innate dignity. He is beautiful to the extent that his deliberate action conforms to the good and lead him to his interior growth. The person's professional vocation is part and parcel of his divine vocation. Professional work which is truly free should elevate the cultural and moral level of a society within which he lives in community with other persons. It is within his innate human dignity to choose a professional work with characteristics that distinguish him from the rest of the beasts and similar irrational creatures. Unfortunately, in many developing and underdeveloped countries of the world, there exists situations where this is not the case. This occurs for various socio-economic reasons, such as extreme poverty, burning inflation, ignorance, broken families, violence, or a state of immorality. And the Philippines is no exception. Such situations occur chiefly for the following reason: extreme poverty, worldly ambition, occasional instances of violence or coercion. Theoretically, the following are potential solutions for such causes: offering livelihood programs, education, especially in morality, parental guidance and family stability, training in virtues like temperance and moderation, implementation of appropriate laws, and policy setting. This paper sets out to discuss the result of a study made on subjects who had found themselves in the above-mentioned indecent jobs, and the reason that would potentially return them to a more dignified life. One of the modern-day scourges that continue to afflict labor is the forced exercise of an undignified profession. The major reason that contributes to the increased existence of these professions is poverty. In addition to labor situation resulting from dire poverty, another one of the social evils of our time is trafficking in human persons, especially in women and children. It is said that trafficking of this kind can be viewed as problems simultaneously of morality, of labor, and of human rights. The literature presents the following as potential solutions for such situation: livelihood, education, parental guidance, family stability, and implementation of laws. It has been said that of the many subjects arousing universal concerns today, it would be helpful to focus on these: marriage and family, human progress, life in its economic, social, and political dimensions, the bonds between family of nations, and peace. The following is a theoretical framework that has aided us in our study. With our innate human dignity, we are able to choose professional work that could give us dignity and beauty as a person. However, there lies an objected or an unfortunate situation that could lead us to indulge ourselves in inappropriate jobs. This study can suggest intervention measures that could discover the motivation that the person needs in order for him to move in a more dignified life. As mentioned earlier, our question is, for workers who find themselves in objectionable jobs, what reasons and motivation would potentially return them to a truly beautiful and dignified work? In October this year, we conducted interviews with women in the informal labor sector at Golden Fields, Bacolod City. There were 20 respondents who willingly participated in the study, and their ages ranged from 19 to 40. The researchers elicited answers to the following questions: what were their main reasons why they landed in those objectionable jobs, and what could be the reasons and motivations for them to return to beautiful and dignified work? Notes were taken of the responses and comments during the interview session and were tabulated afterwards. It was found out that 10 of the 20 said that poverty, the difficulty of having to be the breadwinner of the family, or them that having finished their education pushed them to be in the job, while 5 verbalized family problems such as having broken families, having parents who were also in this kind of situation, and with spouses who were also engaged in similar dignified profession. However, two of the respondents stated that they were influenced by peers and by the people around them. The rest of the respondents talked about various socioeconomic reasons, for instances, having gone through history of abuse, being a victim of human trafficking, or the deliberate choice of the unobjectionable job. In the case of one respondent, we found out that if only they were given opportunities, majority of the women would love to have decent jobs that could provide them with their daily needs. Some were also interested in the thought of undergoing values education and lectures that tackled dignity of women. There was willingness and openness on the part of the respondents to also undergo holistic counseling if only the government could provide such support. Based on the foregoing, we conclude that, number one, poverty plays a major role in the decision of workers to enter the informal labor sector, which includes unjustifiable means of earning money. This income insufficiency, resulting from the lack of educational attainment, typically brings them to such fate. And lastly, family stability was likewise the cause in some cases. We recommend that parents should work harder so they can send their children to school and thus broaden the opportunities before them. Homes are where values are first introduced, morals are taught, virtues are inculcated, dignity is highlighted, beauty is first appreciated, and the first awareness of God's existence is grasped. We have drawn the following implication: a more serious role for the government, action and policy. For instance, government should close down with greater urgency those establishments with indecent jobs are taking place. The effort by government to provide funds and create programs that provide Filipinos a better chance of dignified work. In particular, public officials should improve government health programs, those that provide not only physical or medical assistance, but also lead to the holistic growth of the individual. Research has shown that without strong and purposeful governance, specifically pushing for greater education and healthcare, the poor sectors may never be able to pull themselves out of poverty. A call is further made to those individuals who are more fortunate, that they may spare time for charity works with particular attention to the moral upbringing of their fellow men. In this way, they help enhance their neighbor's beauty by enabling them to engage in a more decent and dignified jobs. Jurors, we are now ready to answer your question. Thank you for listening.